Yeah, hello everyone. Good evening. Glad to see us once again, and I'm happy that today is the last day of the boot camp. I know we have all learned a lot, and personally too, even for me, when I see our speakers speak, sometimes I'm like, wow. To me, it's just like an added knowledge for me as well, sincerely. And I hope you are doing fine. I hope the fish is going well. I hope you are preparing our application materials and all of that. And for those writing or preparing for GRE, I hope that preparation is top notch. Yeah, it's a very demanding phase, very stressful journey, but at the end of it, you're going to smile by the time you see that fully funded offer from a school. So you're going to forget all the stress you've passed through, and it's going to be a wonderful time. So thank you for joining the webinar again. My name is Victor. My name is Victor Lai, and I welcome everyone to this session this evening in Nigeria. So before we start, actually, I'm sorry. My friend is supposed to be here. Tokpa is supposed to be here from Chicago. He's in the University of Chicago, Illinois in Chicago. But unfortunately, he has to reach out to me that he'll not be able to make the meeting. Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. He actually needed to travel to Canada for something very important, and so he will not be able to take this session this evening. But since it's the last session, I just felt like we all can come together, talk about graduate school application, the reality of application. Yeah, it looks very simple that you are just submitting your application, writing GRE, and you're submitting all the materials, but there's more to it. I think everyone have different story to tell. If you have some people, I have some friends that they've been on this application processing and cycle for like 2-3 years. Yeah. And they're not giving up. I have people that have applied like 3 times. I know people that have applied like 3 times in a cycle. And when I mean 3 times, it means they have applied, they've tried 3 years, because it's just like you're trying this year, trying the following year, you're trying the following year again, and yet you didn't get anything. So this session is basically to just, I want us to talk, I want us to interact, I want us to have fun, and I want us to just see the reality of the graduate school application. So once again, you're welcome. Yeah, before we start this evening, I'd like us to do something very quickly. I'm excited. Today is the last day of the webinar, and so I want to take feedbacks on how the sessions have been for us. I know for different people, there are people here that I know they've never missed any of the session. And yeah, kudos to you guys, really. It's not easy, but you have to give all to achieve your dreams. So I want to take like 1, 2, 3, or maximum of 4 people to share with us how the boot camp has been for them and what they've been able to learn. Since that they have not been doing well before, that they want to start doing well, and things that they've been doing well before that they want to improve upon. So let me take 1 or 2. So I want us to, if you want to say something, you can just raise your hand. Just use the raise hand option, and I to just talk in about. Just let me give us a maximum minute of just, let me say just a minute, so that we can start the session. So is anyone going first? Is anyone going first? So just share your experience of the boot camp, how it has been for you. All right, I can see Taiwo. Yes, Taiwo, you have a virtual mic. Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, everybody.
Good afternoon, Taiwo.
Good afternoon, sir. And I would like to appreciate you for this boot camp, and it's really opened a lot to us, like especially me, Shaq. And for the applications we did, previous applications we did, it really opened us to some things that we did not we like about. We thought it would come up that we didn't take notice about. We just started following the crowd that these are the schools that are available. Go and apply to it. We did not do proper research. Like one of the guys that did SOP, he told us that he had prepared SOP 2 months before the application, but most of us, maybe 2 weeks before application window starts, that's when we start our SOP, and there is no proper preparation, no proper researching about the school or the course we are going for. We just put something together, and all is we using generic CV templates and SOP templates
Yeah.
is one of the most striking points that is causing rejection, though, from one of my friends I spoke with, because I think they have a general search engine that they use. Maybe they see that your first line like this, they will put it back that this person is not yet ready. So I think from
I love
the
that
from
word.
the
Person not you ready yet. I love that. Okay.
general, it's general. They will
Mm.
just put it there. Whenever they see that, they'll put it in one side. That's why you see most of the time people that are not qualified will be given because they felt that this person sat down and brought something new
Yeah.
to their table.
Mm.
Do you understand? That person brought something new to their table. That person is genuine enough
Mm.
to write for them. So, and they see that you have all this qualification, but you are still using search engine to do your SOP. So you are not yet ready. You are not yet ready. And one thing that is always on my mind is nowadays is that
Yeah.
SOP is representing you. It's like your CV
Mm.
is giving them what you've experienced, what you are doing. So if your CV is not well packaged and it's not well arranged, they'll be like, I'm not sure this person is fit for the graduate school that we want, and the kind of people we are looking for. But at least your CV is like you are doing interview with them. Your CV, your SOP is the first interview with them. That kind of postcard I got from all the boot camp. Like, if you don't have your CV well prepared and SOP well prepared, you're not going to be picked because it's just like you are meeting somebody for one-on-one interview and the person did not see you, but in the way of writing to them, you're able to let them understand that all the requirements they are looking for is in you. But basically, the way you're writing it should be so well arranged and you two should be prepared. That's why preparation for like 2, 3 months is okay for you. So when you prepare 2, 3 months, you would have done something, research the course online, check the parental webpage, know the professors you want to work with, check online, okay, can I use this person's recent publication or should I use something like this? Should I use something like this? Should I have done that, but some of us like we just join group or we just check online. Okay, this one does not have application fee. Bam, we will go and apply to the school online. That same night, you submit SOP. That same night, you submit the application. That same night, you submit
Mm.
and you end up rejected. So it is one of the major points that I just took out that I wrote in my notes that there's no how. Even my SOP, I'll find time, I'll write it. I've written like 3 SOPs, oh,
Wow.
but I've one that is my taste yet because the man I'm not typing, I'm writing it with hand. So I just cancel it every morning now. This is not my taste, this is not what I want. So that is the kind of thing that we should have in our mindset for the next application cycle. All
Yeah.
these guys doing a turn off. So they and to make things easy for them, and they are the one creating all these our search engines. So they will have a particular engine they will use, even if it's not an engine, they will just portray it out. Bam. Oh, it's one of the one that person is not serious.
Wow, that will thank you so
So,
so much.
so
Yeah,
like that. I'm really blessed. Like
yeah.
that's really something I just neglected that. I've not this thing, but now my system is just up and working every day. At least. Yes, now at least if I mean just 5 schools down, my mind is like because that guy that said they applied to like 32 schools. I was like, wow, there's 2 schools. How did he apply to 32 schools?
Mm.
Ah, it's so curious. Oh. So me too. If I don't apply to as much as that, I don't think I'll rest.
Wow, thank you so so much, Taiwo. Thank you so much for sharing. All right, let me take two more people before we start today's session. Thank you for sharing, Taiwo. Yeah, I'm glad that you're able to attend the webinar and you've picked on other things. Who's going next? Who's going? I think I need the lady now. Oh yeah, Tosin. Yeah, let me welcome Tosin. Tosin, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you so much, Mr. Victor. I would like to say, first of all, I'm so happy that I was able to join this boot camp. That I was able to join this mass scholars at this time that we're having the boot camp. It has really helped me a whole lot. So for me was everything, right from the CV to the SOP to the publication and all. And I can remember that because last year for me, I tried applying to schools last year. So looking at the knowledge I've acquired now, comparing it to last year, I think I'm even happy that I didn't get any offer. Why? Because I felt like I'm so clueless. I don't know anything about this thing. I was just doing it because I felt like, okay, I can just do this and just do it and then get it. So the part, I think it was it Mr. Believe that mentioned something during his own session then. He said something like it was like, okay, intentionality really matters because you have to be sure of what you want, your passion. And it's not about just you picking it from the surface, just doing blue, blue, and just right. Like what I would say, just doing one SOP, just do it and just drop it. And you think you want it. Because these people, obviously, they know the kind of people they want. They know what they are looking for. And if you are not sure of whatever it is that you want to go for, it's even going to cost like a very hard time for someone when you get there. So I was able to learn a lot right from the CV. At least my CV last year was somehow. So comparing to what I've learned now, God, I have a lot to like restructure, to redo. So I was even thinking that, okay, who would even see this and say they want to give me an offer? No. So the session was really nice because Mr. I believe really like took it well, and I was really glad that I did that. And going to the
I still believe that the people are saying anyhow.
yeah. And also going to the SOP too. That one was really like yes, it was really fire because I learned a whole lot. I learned a lot that I don't really need to be like too uptight. When I know my passion, I know what I want to go for, and I am very sure that this is what I have in me. It's like innate, it's from the inward out. You'll be able to bring out something instead of you just picking something one day because you did your research about it. Like I think what I wanted to apply for, I just know one or two things. I don't really like have this depth knowledge about it. And it's really tell even if I want to pick up my SOP and write out, because it's going to be like an hard time for me. So there's no how I just want to look for hey hi and just package something for me. And it's going to be like a really bad impression on whosoever is reading. So I was able to get that I need to be so real with myself, gather more knowledge and how I can bring everything that I've experienced together. I think it's also talk about your experience, your volunteering experience, just look for relevant things to what you want to apply for, and also by God's grace, everything will work our way. So I had a great time with that. Also publication. Initially, I was even like publication was really something for me. I was like, okay, why this publication? And I was so glad that was it Mr. Madueke that explained about the publication, right? Okay, 3D, yes. So he talked about it, and I was able to understand that okay, this is what this is all about. And it has really, I don't want to talk too much. It has really helped me. And last session, I think I will share with you when you mentioned the recommendation part. So good. During the session, I had to like cut for like 5 minutes. I picked my phone where he told us that we need to like reach out to them. It could be even a call before the time, so that when you already build a relationship, it would be so easy, very easy for them to just recommend you because they know. I had to pick my phone and call my supervisor at that moment during the call, during the meeting. I just did like 3 minutes. I called him and he was like, oh, they have really missed you. You really talked so well. And he was like, I should see when I'm after my service. I was like, oh wow. I never was even expecting him to pick because he doesn't used to reply WhatsApp messages. He doesn't even answer. And he replied so well. He was even asking me that what would I like to do that he can help me out. And that was really a great help for me. So thank you so much. And also I would like to thank all our facilitators, our speakers. They really done well. Because I like the fact that they put so much they are so intentional about what they do. Like I saw them preparing CV and all and presentation rather. So it shows that okay, this is I saw this excellence and all. So it has really given me this kind of mentality also, that you actually have to be excellent in whatever it is that you do. And thank you so much, Mr. Victor. You're a real G. You always hide and just you always humble yourself. But
Thank
then
you.
God
I'm your
God
boy.
sees you.
I have none. I'm just your
Thank
small
you
boy
so much.
now.
God bless you. Thank you so
All
much.
right, you're welcome. Okay, can we take one more person before we go to the session? Just one more person. I saw someone indicate, okay, yes, Emmanuel, you're welcome, my boss. You have the floor.
Good evening, everybody.
Good evening, Emmanuel.
Good evening, my mentor, my Oga. I think if I do not speak in this whole boot camp, I'll be wrong. Actually, if I do not say something, I'll be wrong. I'll be wrong. So now, I think it takes a really good person to see the need to
Let me put up my camera
bring up.
first before I become shy. Let me put up my camera so I won't be shy.
I think no, you don't have to. So now I think it takes a really good person with a good heart to, put up or bring up avenue uh, that would enlighten other people that wants to tread this path that that he has gone through. And from the first facilitator to the last, it actually shows the power of association. So quality relationship, So, and I've linked all the facilitators all together, and I think there is a common ground where all of them meet. So one will say they are OFP scholar. They OFP is OFP. Yeah. Oh, sorry. Education USA. My bad. So and all of that. So I think the power of association cannot be overemphasized in all of this. So, and I think this attribute and quality will be needed in graduate school, because you cannot be an island. You would need quality people in this journey, because this is a journey. It's not a destination. We're going somewhere. Even after getting the funding and scholarship and all of that, we are going ahead. We are firing. We raise them. So we are going. So after getting the funding, going there and all of that, there will still be opportunity. There will still be the need to interact with other people, and that is a very, very good quality. So starting from the CV part, man, it was mind blowing. It was mind blowing, because we've been speaking since last year now, so and I actually compared my CV that I drafted last year with the one I've done with the knowledge of beliefs session. After a session, I actually compared it. I'm like, man, no. I need to really thank this my mentor very well. For at least, it's one thing to conceive an idea, and it's another thing to implement it. I really thank God for your life, honestly, for wanting to impact into other people what you've gotten. And I believe there will be good news in the end. There will be very, very good news, So each and every one of us, we already have this mind to further our studies, and I think that even with this singular thought, God will bring it past. In the end, it will be all good. So down to SOP also. So like someone said, it's always good for the SOP and the CV to align. So a misalignment or a discrepancy between both documents is already a no-no. Because if your CV is saying one thing and your SOP is saying another thing, it's already a red flag for the other guys over there, the graduate committee and all of that. So I've already taken note of that to align my documents. Everything should link towards a particular point.
Yeah.
So also the power of recommendation also. I think one thing we should take cognizance of is the person that's recommending us, because they also they also influence the whole, because this is very, very holistic, but they're not looking at one side of your application, they're looking at everything. So they're constantly down from SOP to CV to recommendations to probably standardized tests and all of that, to research that you've done, experiences and all of that. So they take credit to you, and if one is lacking, or if you are behind in one part, it might give another person an edge over you. You know, that happens. So I've learned so far that every of my documents should be of great quality and great standard, actually. So man, it's been a good. There's a clear difference from when before this boot started, and now there's a clear difference because I've revamped my CV without even giving it to anybody. Like I've done it myself, and I know that even if I'm to give it to someone, there'll just be few corrections to make.
Yeah.
If there'll be any correction at all. So I can attest to that due to as a result of this bootcamp that I've attended. And again, one thing is free. You've just made it because all of this information is what people pay thousands of naira for people to help them check and people to enlighten them on. Because I follow a lot of people on LinkedIn, and scholarship as a scholarship enthusiast, I follow a lot of people and I see different posts and I see avenues that people put up and say pay so amount, pay 30,000 naira for me to scholarship routes to enlighten you and all of that, all those things, you know. So and see me here, I've gotten all of them free of charge thanks to God and my mentor. So it's been I've learned a lot actually. So the power of relationship it stands out for me because without relationship, if you had not created an avenue, like it takes you to be friendly to have a friend. So I think it's I emulate I'll keep emulating that. Because without if I didn't let me talk now, my guy. I never talk for you. So I didn't you have a cordial relationship with these guys. You wouldn't have the leading to even or the mind to even reach out to them to do all of that. Because look at what the last person said. She said she saw the slides and when they're coming to they prepared as if they were talking to they were going to speak to like 1,000 persons in this meeting and all of that. So speaking and passionate and preparing presentation like they are being paid for it. Well, I don't know if you give them something behind, but I'm sure you didn't give them. So
actually,
they eat from their free.
They were not paid anything.
So now it just shows that the relationship we created with these guys did not just allow them to decline your message when you reached out to them. Thank you so much. Thank you guys. Thank you everybody. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Man, thank you so much. Thank you so much for your words, everyone. Thank you. I'm glad that it's not a waste of time. I just wanted to be sure that we did the right thing. I wanted to be sure that at least we didn't waste a month because it's actually a whole month. We are using on this bootcamp. It started 1st of June and every Saturday. I must really appreciate you guys too for really being very consistent. It's not easy, I appreciate that it is free, you're not paying. But do you know that there are times that I remember I was in UI, I organized a program, an event. I was in this NGO, I was the provost, and I was also the campus director. And I think we organized a program, an event that was free for people. Do you know that even though it was free, people were not attending? I was surprised. You guys are not paying. So it may look like, it's free, who should come? But then I've seen events that I've organized that were free for people, but yet people are not showing up. Do you get? So I really have to appreciate you guys for being very consistent in the meeting, coming early, learning and all of that. Thank you everyone for the feedback. Yeah, so like I said before, I need to apologize to everyone that our speaker, my friend, my very good friend, my very good friend is not here with us. If you check the flyer, you see the name should be Temitope, right? So, it's my friend, a very good one that's been from the University of Ibadan as well, but he's currently in Canada. He had to beg and apologize. In fact, he wanted to reach out to a friend of his again to come and take the session. But unfortunately, the notice was very short, so he could not come. But then, yeah, let's just talk, let's discuss. We are talking about recommendation letter today. And this is also one very important aspect of our application. I just take it very slowly and I'm going to just share my own experience personally. And also, I have a friend on the call. Her name is Deborah. She's also a student, a PhD student, and I want her to come here to share because this meeting is not just about recommendation letter. It's also to prepare our mind for the application cycle. Yeah, it may look easy. Do you know the fun thing is that after getting all these sessions, orientation, and all of that, I have a friend, let me start with that. I have a friend that finished with a very good grade in school. He wrote GRE, he got, I think, 334 or 332. I mean, it was more than 330, over 340 in GRE. He had a very outstanding profile. He had publications. In fact, he was Education USA OFP scholar. But do you know he tried the application like 3 times in a row before he got an offer? He just got an offer this cycle, and be traveling in August. So for you to know that, I'm wondering, what is it again? This guy has the experience, he has everything. So that's why one last thing I'm going to say as we end the boot camp today is a smart way of applying to schools. Because yes, I have another friend. Let me start with that. You're talking about recommendation letter, but I'm going to start with this so that you can have the reality. I have another friend of mine. This friend has, if I'm not mistaken, nothing less than 15 publications, published papers, not submitted for review. He has a good profile. He has a master's. In fact, his master's results should be around, I think, 4.92 over 5. Very good GPA. He has almost everything. The day the day this friend sent his CV to me, I was crying. I was like, God, I beg you. I made sure that I did not apply to the schools this guy applied, because if I try to apply to this same school with this guy, I'm gone. For you to know how good his profile was, sincerely, very good. But sincerely, it's very painful that up to now, he has no offer, up to now. I'm going to tell you some of the mistakes he made as well in applying smartly for school. But let's start with the recommendation letter. What's the recommendation letter? A recommendation letter is the only aspects of your application that you have no control over. When you're submitting your CV, you're crafting your own CV yourself, you know what to write. You've heard this word before, package your CV, package your CV. You know how to package your CV. You know how to put stuff there. Of course, let me also say that don't put stuff that you do not really know about in your CV. Of course, you should package your CV. What does it mean? It means that you are selling yourself. So you know how to package your own CV yourself. You are drafting it yourself. You have control over it. You are submitting the CV yourself. Another thing is your statement of purpose that we had in the session before. You have control over this, your statement. You write your own statement. You write your own story. You tell your story. In fact, in your essay, which is your SOP, you have the opportunity to convince the reviewing committee why you did not have a desired grade. For instance, I think it was my friend I was sharing, Chibuzo, that came for the SOP session, the one in the US, University of, I can't remember, okay, Alabama. He was saying that someone started his SOP as, I know you can see that I have an F in this course. Can you imagine starting an SOP that way? Because you already know that, SOP is telling your own story. I'm not going back to that. But he knew that one thing that may impact his application was the fact that he had an F in a course, maybe a repair course. So he started his SOP that way. So he had control over his SOP because this guy is writing the SOP. He said, I hope you can see, I know you can see that I have an F in this course, this, and he started with that. So even if you are planning to not consider him because of that F, you already started with that. You already explained the reason why you had an F. You have control over your SOP. You also have control over your transcript, of course. And that is, I mean, control meaning that you can submit it after. It doesn't mean that your grade can change. If you finish with the first class, that's the first class. 2-1 is a 2-1. 2-2 is a 2-2. There's nothing you can do. But you have control over it in the sense that you are submitting this material yourself. One thing that you don't have control over is your reference letter. And how can you be smart about your reference letter, recommendation letter for some schools? I will say that, first of all, a reference letter is something that is given by a senior, a faculty member that knows you well. Now, when they are submitting a reference letter for you, they assume that this person submitting this letter for you knows you very well. Now, I sent a sample of a reference letter to the group and I was asking for comments. Actually, that was a draft from my own hand. Yeah. I wanted to apply to schools and do you know that it was so mind-blowing that I needed to approach my vice chancellor. Yeah, it's so funny. I needed to go to my vice chancellor that, sir, can you recommend me? You might be shocked that I got to meet the vice chancellor. Of course, he was in Redeemers University at that time, and I was also close by. So he came to Redeemers University for an event. That was the vice chancellor in my school while I was in school then. So I went to meet him, sir. I explained myself saying, this is my name. I came from this school. This grade. I have a challenge of applying to school and I need a recommendation letter. Funny thing was that he agreed to give me a reference letter. I'm telling you. So that sample I sent to you was what I wrote for my my vice chancellor. Yeah, I wrote it for him. That's But eventually he got very busy. He could not submit again. I had to use someone else. But he actually agreed. I went to his office several times. For you to know, yeah, I'm talking. I don't want to mention his name because this meeting is being recorded. But I'm talking about the vice chancellor of my school, University of Ibadan, not this current one, the one that was there when I was in school. Now, because recommendation letter is something that you do not have control over, but you can control it if you want to control it. Your recommendation letter is very important. Let me tell you why. Schools in US, they rate what your lecturer say about you. If your lecturer writes a bad recommendation letter for you, no matter the profile you have, no matter how good your CV is, no matter how good your SOP is, no matter how good your transcript, even if you like, finish with a perfect CGPA, they don't care. As long as your recommender is saying something different about you, your application is gone. So how do you ensure that you make your reference letter in such a way that you can get the attention of the reviewing committee? Number one, be very smart with your application. Yeah, I need to tell you this, that you have to be very, very smart with your application. You see, reference letter is something that I want you to reach out to professors on time. Yeah, I think that's one thing that is very important and that'll be very helpful for you. Because by the time you are telling these people, like someone mentioned the importance of connecting with them early. I cannot overemphasize that point of connecting with your professors early. You have to reach out to them. You have to let them know that this is your interest for this time. And you have to let them know in a very humble way. You can't just send them a message, "Good morning, ma. My name is so. I finished from your school in 2012. I want to apply to schools in the They're gone. Oh. And you know, of course, you guys know our Nigerian professors, our Nigerian lecturers are, of course, the African spirits, the blood is in our blood. So they can't just say, I want to apply for this. No, it's not done that way. And that was why my friend was emphasizing the importance of communication. So you start by communicating them. Oh, this is my plan. This is what I want to do. These are the schools I want to apply for. Also, when you are reaching out to your professors, let them know the number of schools you'll be applying to. What I did was that I used 9 different recommenders because I under smart way of applying to schools is applying to as many schools as possible. Yeah. I used 9 different recommenders. Okay, let me say this. Of course, I know there's time for question and answer. You may want to ask a question, but let me just answer it ahead of time. It's not compulsory to use your professors that are from your school where you finished from. You can use anybody that you have a relationship with and you worked with before. For instance, I was opportunity to serve at Redeemers University during my NYSC. So while I was able to apply to more schools, one thing that actually limited me from applying to many schools recommendation letter, because by the time you reach out to your professor, I'm applying to 7 schools. You start hearing talk. What are you doing with 7 schools? Why are you applying to 7? Do you get that kind of thing? So one thing that actually gave me an edge was that I had an NYSC in Redeemers University, and I developed a relationship with them. You see, it's good to have information on time, because if you have an information on time, it will trigger the kind of decisions you're going to make. So while I was in that school, my main intention was that, guy, you're applying to school, you're applying to school, you're applying to school. So I was not just snubbing lecturers. I was very active. Sometimes I work with them in their research. Sometimes I help them to mark their scripts. I just see today, I remember that after I left Redeemers University, a core member also went there from my school, from University of Ibadan. And they asked me, Victor was there, this and this. Do you know Victor? Do you know the, they were just telling, he had to call me. I'm like, what did you do for them? They just say, Victor. Because I knew, okay, of course, I wanted to serve well as well. But I also knew that I needed something from them. So I did not spoil the ground. So please, one thing you should not do is that don't just go there and just do anyhow during your service. Have a relationship with them, number 2. Number 3 thing I would like to tell us is that you have to reach out to them early. Let me tell you the truth. Sometimes you blame our recommenders for not submitting good letters for us, that maybe they didn't submit a well-detailed letter for us. But on the other hand, if you are a lecturer, let's look at this together. You're a lecturer and someone is reaching out to you that, sir, please, I want to submit an application. Deadline is next week. How do you feel? And let me be very candid with us. These people are very busy. Yeah, they are very busy because some of them are lecturing in one school, they are doing an adjunct lecturer in another school, they are holding positions in the same school. You are a professor here, you are the provost of the PG school, you are the dean of the faculty, you are this and that. So some of them are actually very busy. Now, another thing is that aside from the fact that they are very busy, they are not writing letters for you alone. Yeah, I had a lecturer that told me that he had about 15 people. I think she had about 15 people she was recommending at the time. And come to think of it, if I'm the lecturer and I'm writing letters for 15 different people, now tell me how I invest all my energy in just one person. So most of them have a lot of students calling them, their past students, previous students, current students, even students that are just in final year, reaching out to them. And so the importance of reaching out to these people early cannot be overemphasized. Give them a deadline. Another thing is that when you are submitting your recommendation letter, please and please, before you agree to include the email of a recommender, have a call, have a chat. Sir, this is the situation of thing, and I've been passionate about this program. I want to apply to this school, and I'll be applying to 4 schools. Let them know. I'll be applying to 3 schools. Let them know. I'll be applying to 10 schools. Let them know. Because imagine you are coming to me as a lecturer. Sir, I want to apply to university for my graduate study and all of that. Oh, fine. Oh, that's good. I want your progress. That's fine. Sir, can I get your email address? Okay, fine. This is my email address. Now, I'm giving you my email address only for me to be seeing every day. Every day, my email is just beeping. You have a recommendation from this guy. Second one, third one, fourth one, fifth, sixth, seventh, eighth, ninth, 10. You could actually get some of them angry and they're not recommending you again. Do you understand? So what you do is that, staff, I'll be applying to schools for my PhD, my master's degree. I'll be applying to about 4 schools. I don't know if you'll be able to recommend me for those 4 schools. Now, good. Once they say, okay, you're applying to 4 schools. Oh, I'm sorry, I will not be able to recommend for 4 schools. I can do 2 schools. Okay, fine, sir. That's fine. So you're only submitting their email for 2 schools. If you submit for 3 schools, some lecturers, they can get angry and not recommend you again. So let them know I'll be applying to schools. I'll be applying to this number of schools. Let me also add that do not allow a lecturer to recommend you for more than 5 schools. It's too much. It's not, and it's unfair. Yeah, it's unfair because except for lecturers that tell you that, don't worry, just go ahead and be applying. I'll be helping you. I have a lecturer like that. I'm saying this because you have to have a relationship with these lecturers. I have a lecturer while I was in Redeemers University. He was the HOD of the department where I served. This man loved me so much that he told me that he called me Mr. Olaoye. He said, Mr. Olaoye, don't worry. Apply to as many schools as possible. I will always give you a letter. And if I'm not mistaken, I think this man submitted maybe about 7 or 8 letters for me. Yeah. And that was because he told me himself that I should just keep applying. He was going to give me a recommendation letter as long as I need them. Those are good lecturers, but they are very rare. They are very rare. Not everybody has the time. Do you understand? So if you are reaching out to your professor in school, if you are reaching out to your lecturer in school, let them know that I'm going to be applying to 3 schools. Even though you're not applying to 3 schools, we are going to talk about that. You should apply to not less than 10 schools to be safe. Now, I'm going to apply to 3 schools in the US. I need you to recommend me for the 3 schools. I don't know if you are going to be available to do the 3 schools. Imagine attending them. I want to apply to 20 schools. I mean, no. If I'm a lecturer, I'm going to think that something is wrong. Actually, you don't know what they're talking about because I have other things I'm doing. So maximum of 5 schools. I mean, it could be a school, 2 schools, and 3 schools. That's another thing I feel you should do. Another thing you should do while requesting a letter is during your conversation, ask them. I reached out to one of my professors while I was preparing, and I told him, sir, this is the situation of things. I have passion for this. I've written this exam. I have this profile. Let them know that you're also ready. Because no one wants to waste his or her time. I think for this grade, this GPA, I've written this exam, or I'm planning to write this exam, and this and that, and I want to apply to schools. Please, could you recommend me? Some of them, one thing I've noticed about most of them is that most time they may not even object. I think there was only one person I reached out to that she was polite enough, a lecturer, to tell me that, Victor, I'm so sorry. I will not be able to recommend you because I have other people that I'm already recommending. Well, you know, the case most times is that they just tell you, don't worry, I will recommend you. But then the issue now comes when you are battling with deadline and you're trying to call them, send them text. Oh my God. I send text message, WhatsApp message, call, because of deadline. We're going to talk about that as well. So let them know. And also make sure you ask them, sir, do you need me to send my CV and other materials for you to be able to write the letter? Or do you want me to send a draft to you? That is very important. Like I said, most of these lecturers, they don't have time. And you'll be shocked that by the time they recommend you and they send a letter for you, I remember, let me share this experience with you guys. I remember I applied to the University of Alabama. Alabama now, my friend talked about it last time. Free waiver, free waiver, free waiver. So I applied. I applied to Alabama because of free waiver. And I just told my recommend. I was just calling, ma, please, this deadline is this time for me to meet up with the free waiver stuff. I was just telling her this and that. And, she just wanted to submit. Let me tell you the truth. She submitted a recommendation letter, let's say today. The following day, I got a rejection from the school. It was so shocking. It was so shocking to me. That was my first application ever. And that was my first school ever. In fact, when I got that rejection email, I almost wanted to give up on applications I met. Submitted application a day, and the following day they are rejecting me. And I got to see that it's most likely that they actually rejected me because of my recommendation letter. Most likely. Most likely. There might be other factors, but most likely. Why? Maybe because she didn't have time. Maybe because I'm just telling her that, man, deadline is next tomorrow. Could we just submit something? And she just type, blah, 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 blah. I've known Victor for 4 years. He's a very good boy. He's a clinical. Just one sentence. Thank you. And she submitted. Imagine seeing that. They just assume that, no, this guy is not fit. Because graduate school, graduate college, they rate the letters that are coming from your professors. They rate them. So let's try to tell them, ask them 2 questions. Should I send you my CV, ma? Or should I send you my materials, my transcript? Or do you want me to send a draft so that you could read and edit? The best option is if they tell you to send a draft. Do you know why I'm saying that? Most of these lecturers, they don't know what you have done. They don't know who you are. That's the truth. Except if you have a very, very close relationship with them. You left their school in 2020, and this is 2024. You're trying to reach out to them. They don't know what you have done. They don't know you have gone for conferences, like international conferences, where you have published papers and presented papers. They don't know. They don't know you have taught in the university as an assistant lecturer. They don't know. They don't know that you now have a master's degree. These are things that should reflect in your letters. So the polite way is, ma, can I send a draft of what I've been up to, what I've done, what I've achieved? If they tell you yes, wow, I advise you to sit down, have a very good draft and send to them. Recommendation letter is, they are assuming that this person knows you, like you guys talk every day. They are seeing the person as your mentor. They are seeing the person as someone you go to every day and say, this is my next step. This is the next thing I want to do in my life. And people say, oh, that's fine. This happened to me. I lost my mom. Oh, sorry about that. Oh, this is what I want to do now. That's fine. This is where I'm currently working now. Oh, that's fine. They assume that the person recommend you has every detail about your life. So if someone is submitting something that is not even tallying with your application, imagine another thing that happens in recommendation letter, why you have to be very careful is that sometimes because of rush and haste and deadline, trying to meet deadline, some lecturers can just, maybe you're applying to 5 schools, right? And you send them a draft or something, and you included, let me say, MIT, or let me say Yale University, and you apply to 5 different schools. It's possible that your recommender may not even have the time to edit the Yale University for other schools. So imagine a lecturer just submitting Yale University for Harvard, Yale University for Stanford, Yale University for MIT, Yale University for Oklahoma State University, Yale University for when you see, once the reviewer see that is the end. Yeah, that is the end. So that is the challenge about recommendation letter. you do not have control over it. How can you be smart about it? Another way you could go about being smart about it is, for the 5 schools you are sending a letter to, what I did personally, I ensure that I did. Someone said Jesus. Yeah, that is crazy, man. And why I'm saying this is because you've already paid the application fee. You've paid $70 for an application fee. And yet you are sending a draft to the person you have paid about $70 to. I mean, you are submitting a draft to a lecturer and you have paid about $80 for application fee, only for your lecturer to make a mistake of submitting the Yale University for Harvard, Yale University for Stanford. That means all the 5 applications are gone. Because once the reviewing committee see that, is only in a very rare condition that they will still consider your application. You just feel like, no, this is not it. This is not it. Do you know, one smart thing you can do is that if a professor is recommending you for 4 schools, ensure that the draft you are sending is for each school. The way I did mine. If a professor is recommending you for 4 schools, the subject of the email will be the name of the school. I write, for instance, Tulane University, USA. There, sir, kindly find attached the draft for Tulane University. Then I will send that to him. And in the body of the letter, everything will be about Tulane University. Now, if I'm applying for Stanford University, I will write as the subject of the email to the professor recommending, dear sir, I will write Stanford University, US. Dear sir, kindly find attached the draft for Stanford University. And I will ensure that everything in the body of that reference letter talks about Stanford University. Ways you have to be smart, because if you don't do this, you're going to be sure. Another thing that happens is that sometimes you don't get decision from school and you're wondering, what have I done wrong? Is it that I don't have a very good profile? I mean, do I miss something somewhere? Sometimes it's not about your profile. It may just be about your recommendation letter. Yeah. It may be that you do not have a strong recommendation. Nobody's talking about you. I read the recommendation letter from the professor wrote for a student. I'm like, this is crazy. In fact, if I actually do not, if I'm the reviewing committee, if I'm part of the reviewing committee, I can't say no to this person, because the professor saw this guy, say, this person is this, he can work under this, he worked with this equipment in my lab, he did this, he did internship in this place. Like, he usually talked so well about the person. And so that's the importance of recommendation letter. And so I feel you should be very, very smart about it. If they ask for a draft, send them a draft and message them as early as possible. Another thing I want to say is that during the process, please do not forget to send them a thank you message after your recommendation letter. Yeah, it's very important. Why are professors becoming not interested in giving letters again? It's because even after getting your offer, you not even tell them you got an offer. No, that's very bad. Yeah, very bad. If I'm doing, I'm going to be very pained, actually. I've taken time to write letters for you, only for me to be seeing your picture in US. But now, no. You just post on LinkedIn. You just post, what's the name of the school? Chicago, or just post Boston, Massachusetts, or just post Rhode Island, or just post Kingston, Rhode Island. It's not good enough, really. Say a thank you. If you don't have all the money to buy them stuff, buy them something small. That was part of my plan. I called one of my recommenders last week. I wanted to see him last week, but he was very busy. I told him I was going to see him again. I already got a gift for him. No matter how small, they know you're looking for money to travel and all of that. But the truth of the matter is that just saying thank you is very important. So why you see that most lecturers are not even interested in recommending people again, because when you japa, you've forgotten them. you do not even remember to tell them that, sir, I already have an offer. I thank you so much for this. Thank you for your time. Let them know that their input was very important to you. Very, very important. Yeah. So I think at this point, I would like to stop, and I would like to take we take question and answer. But before I take question and answer, I have a friend here. Today I told you we are just enjoying ourselves. The last session, and we're just talking. I want you guys to ask question. I have a friend on the call. Her name is Deborah, and I want her to share her experience, because her experience is a testament of now give up, fuck up. Yeah, now give up, fuck up. Do you understand that? So you do not give up until you win. Yeah, Deborah, you're welcome. I can see your camera is on already. Welcome. We can't hear you yet. Are you talking?
Hey,
Yeah, welcome.
can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you clearly. You're welcome.
Hi, Victor. Hi, everyone.
Fine, thank you.
I hope I'm sounding loud enough.
Yeah, very audible.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, Victor, let me appreciate you. I really did a good job. Like, wow, you're trying. It's not easy to do all of this.
Thank you so much. You're my mentor now, so I'm following after your footstep now.
People together and help me.
Yeah.
Good evening, everyone. I'm hoping you're all in Nigeria. We are all in Nigeria together.
Everyone is in Nigeria. We're there.
Yeah, so I want to say welcome to this group. This is like a commitment. You are taking a good step. Journey applying to grad school. And I pray that today is fulfilling one for every one of you, including myself. So my name is Deborah Hawoniro, and I'm university to study chemistry. I'm going for a PhD in chemistry. Please, if at any time you cannot hear me, please let me just know.
Yeah,
Are you hearing me? Please, I need that feedback.
The network is breaking. It seems your network is breaking.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you now, but the network breaks off once in a while.
I wouldn't know.
Okay, but I think it's good now.
Like it's breaking. Isn't that my voice is breaking or the
Yeah,
network?
yeah, your voice and network too.
Okay. Can you hear me now? Is it clearer now?
Yeah, it's
Is
good
it clearer now? Okay, so I'll just hold this. Yeah, so like I said, my name is Deborah Hawoniro, and heading to Miami University for a PhD in chemistry this fall. Yes, I'll just say on a day like this and have this conversation because, like Victor said, now who give up? So, truly, I've been on this journey since 2015. Victor doesn't know that part of the story.
Are you serious?
I've been on
Wow.
this journey since 2015.
Wow.
Oh,
Someone said a boy.
that's
Interesting.
a story. Let me share from that point. Let me. I have a question to make. Yes, during my masters, I saw Shege. Banza. Actually, in Nigeria is enough. Except I have so much money to do quality research. So I just told myself that I was going to do whatever it takes to make sure I don't do my PhD in Nigeria. And by God's grace, God has answered that prayer. So when I served in 2015, I had opportunity to know all about writing GRE. I think writing GRE that during my service, the work I was preparing for was GRE. People who come to the office, the gist. I used to go to the library then. Excuse me. I used to go to the library of my office. Then
it's really breaking on the program.
I
don't know. Is it possible you leave
for GRE?
Chemistry and join again?
Yes. I was know about.
Is it possible?
Let me disconnect the.
Yes.
Let me disconnect the YouTube. The Bluetooth.
Okay.
Okay. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's better. It's okay
now.
Is
it clearer?
Yeah, very clear.
Is it better? Okay, thank you. So I said I started this journey in 2015. I actually served in 2015. I finished my service in 2016. So during my service year, like I was preparing for GRE, like I knew I was saving up for GRE, but then GRE was a big thing because at least now there are so many, after COVID-19, many schools started to waive GRE. So I knew that writing GRE was like the committed step for me in applying to grad school. So I somehow I couldn't save enough money to write GRE because then I had to get a passport. I didn't have a passport, and then the whole process. So I just gave up on the idea, and I didn't have any support system. It was like it's just now that my family members are beginning to support me in this whole
Of
thing.
course,
Then it was like a crazy
you have
idea that
results now.
I
You have
was
results.
because me, I've always known that I was going to do my master. So even when I was serving, people were looking for job. I didn't even have a CV. It was, I think, 2 days to my POP that because of pressure now from my dad and all of that, I just crafted a CV. I just wanted to go to grad school. That was my passion. And I think that's one thing with God's grace that have helped me in this journey. Yeah, so to cut the long story short, I couldn't meet up with submitting in the academic year again. And then so I just gave up on the idea of going to the US. I just let me just do my master's instead of just getting a job and forgetting my dream of going to grad school. So I got admission the next year after my service, and then I got admission to do my master's. And then my master's was supposed to be, I've already calculated, maximum two years, right? They tell us 18 months.
18 months.
ASU strike.
Wow.
ASU strike came up. I can't even remember how many months that ASU strike, because my coursework was exactly 1 year. In fact, less than 1 year. I'd already started my project and I was almost, everything was going on well. Then ASU strike came. COVID-19 lockdown came. After COVID-19, another ASU strike came. I'm like, God, how many years did I use for this master's? I think I ended up using like 3 or almost 4 years for the master's.
Are you serious?
I ended up graduating, like my convocation was in 2022, although my result was approved in July 2021. So immediately my result was approved. I didn't even travel to the school. I just called someone to help me process my transcript. The next month, like this, my transcript was ready, and then I joined Education USA. And I think that was like the starting point for me. So I joined Education USA in 2021. Everything was looking good, right? I started preparing for GRE. I wrote my first GRE in Victor is my partner.
Yeah.
It was my first GRE in 2021. Jesus. Please. And then I scored 290. I think I scored 296. And then my mentor said, well, I wrote Duolingo English exam. So like, okay, the score is bad, but you're in chemistry department, so somehow you can apply, and again, remember at 2021, a lot of schools were not already waiving GRE.
Yeah.
So I applied. I think I paid for only one school. And one thing I want to advise you, please run away from general app fee waiver schools. Run away. Alabama, University of Alabama.
We are plenty
You
in
will
Alabama.
chop love letter. I know I've met people that got admission in that school, but when schools give general application fee waiver, especially Nigerians, we like free things. We will rush this school, and sometimes they'll not even review your. As I'm talking to you now, I applied to 2 schools this year. I think that was in January. Those are the only 2 schools I got general app fee waiver. I applied to that were just free on their. Do you know, up to now I've not received response to them, whether they rejected me or they put me on wait list. I've not heard from them, and this is June ending. So please, to minimize the heartbreak you have and the tears, please run away from even if your profile is very strong, please run away from general. You can have it, or maybe if you have the luxury of recommendation letters and recommenders, because you cannot just be wasting the effort of your recommenders. These people are very busy, your professors and all of that. Or if you have the luxury, I know someone who have was it about 10 or 13 people were recommending writing recommendation letters for him. I say if you have that luxury, please. But even with that, pay for schools, save. I know it's not easy, but please try to apply to schools that then even if you want to get app fee waivers, it should not be general. And that was one thing I applied in this last year when I was applying. I didn't It should not be general application fee waiver. You can write to graduate coordinator. See, I don't know if you guys have been taught about code emailing or if you started code emailing
You can
professors.
talk about it.
I know that the response rate of these professors is very low, but you see, grad coordinators, I feel like they're the nicest set of people in the university. You feel email person now. Hey, my name is this. I graduated from blah, 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 blah. Just ask them even foolish question or
The
don't
response.
ask them
They're
foolish
so
question,
nice.
no. But ask them any question, they will answer you. These people, they're just there to help us. They're there to answer all our questions. So you can reach out to grad coordinators, tell them, Nigeria, we're experiencing hardship now. The dollar rate, as a last year, dollar rate was not even 1.5, but at least we talked about the exchange rate, the fact that the minimum wage in Nigeria is not even up to, how much is the application fee? $50 was the lowest, right? Or I know some schools are $30, but average is $50, $70.
Very rare,
Minimum wage serve is not up to that. So just try to package your CV, your whatever. Just package yourself. Talk to grad court. They will review your application. They have, most of these schools, they have slots for fee waivers. So you can get a coupon code that you use in applying. I know I got like 3. I think I got about 3 last year.
Wow.
Those were personalized fee waivers I got. Apart from that, please don't waste your energy and your emotions applying to general fee waiver schools. And most of these general fee waiver schools, they're even Ivy League schools. Normally, rejection rate is high. Yeah, somebody was saying that, how do you recognize grad code? You recognize grad code when you go to the website of the school, check the department. For each department, there's a graduate coordinator assigned. And sometimes these graduate coordinators may even be faculty members. So just check out. I don't know what is applicable in your own school or your department. It's not difficult to know. You can even just do a direct Google search and then you get to know. Yeah, so in 2021, I think I applied to 4 schools. And yes, Victor mentioned something about the minimum number of schools you should apply to. You said 10, right?
Yeah.
I think you said 10. Yeah. So my mentor said the minimum we should apply to is 8. And I think I agree with her because this last year was the year I applied to the highest number of schools. And do you know that the school that gave me admission was the last school I paid for? Please don't give up. I was on the verge. I applied to this school that gave me admission in January. Their deadline was January 20. Wow. I applied in January. I made up my mind to apply, I think January 15. So I just already told my recommender, I just begged them, please, this will be the last one. Because I've applied to like how many schools that they've sent recommendation letter for me.
Wow.
So and I just made up my mind to apply to this school. The deadline is January 20, blah, blah, blah. And because I had a good relationship with them, so I was able to get the record. I was able to meet up with the application. I applied to this school in January before January 20, around that January. And in February, I think less than a month or about a month, I got my offer letter. And this was the last school I paid for. And I remember that then I had so much need of money. I was like, this money that I've already paid for some schools for December deadline. Let me just use this money and meet this need, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Someone just encouraged me, please, just apply. So I was supposed to apply for an $80 school. So I was like, okay, let me just apply to this school. It's $50. The extra $30, I'll use it to settle small needs. So, so I applied to this school, and that was the first school that responded to me. And it was a positive response. The other rejections came later, but this was good. So apply to more schools, it increases your chances.
Yeah.
So like I was saying, I applied to 4 schools. I could email the professor that encouraged me to apply, and that was the school that I paid $100 for. That was the school that first gave me love letter. I cried there.
$100.
Hey.
Wow.
I cried my eyes out. Then I think the remaining schools were APFI schools. That was the only school I paid for that year. The rest were general APFI school, and I was just receiving the love letter in quick succession. Like they followed themselves. January, February, March, love letter, love letter. So I was like, how bad can this be? Do you know where in 2022, this thing can be so depressing. I got my first rejection in January 2022. I think I had my NEPA just is like sorry, right? Nigeria.
You can just use the
NEPA don't off light.
voice. It's fine.
I'm coming.
Yeah, no. So I hope you guys have been enjoying the wonderful session. Yeah, so I decided to bring Deborah so that you know that you can't give up with this stuff. Yeah, Deborah has been there since 2015. Actually.
Okay. I don't know how good this can be.
It's okay. It's fine.
All right. I have my tripod stand ready.
Okay, thank you.
Let me see, maybe it's clear enough. So so I got rejected. I think I had my convocation in February, and that same week I got another rejection email. I was like, God. So I think by March I'd gotten all the responses from the school, and I just gave up. See, I gave up on grad school. I was because on the Education USA group, those that didn't get admission, those that got admission were the ones that were retained on the group or something like we're supposed to
got admission were removed.
We're supposed to message our mentor to move us to the group for fall 2022. So, but I just decided to focus on other aspects of my life. I don't want to talk, I don't want to hear about grad school. I needed to clear my head. Like, it was so depressing. So I think in August of 2022, if I'm not mistaken, I messaged my mentor back and told her that I'm applying again. She was like, where have you been all this while? I've been saying people should come, and I'm like, this woman will not understand. And that was where I met Victor. I and Victor were on that group together. So we applied again. I think that was when we applied to Rice University of Alabama, all those general outfit. So in 2022, I tried to do some things differently. Remember in 2021, I wrote GRE. I used the GRE because when I was writing the GRE, I'd already sent the codes to that school I paid $100 to. So I don't know if that was one of the reasons why they rejected me. So in 2022, I was contemplating writing GRE, but I didn't have that money. I was like, okay, can I write IELTS or any other test that will boost? But I know that for US now, it's either TOEFL or GRE. GRE is like the main deal. So I tried to do some things differently. I revamped my CV, and then in 2022 I got another publication added to my CV. Then I think I reached out to someone recommended someone I met on LinkedIn I even paid someone to review my SOP for me to tell you how much I tried to. Then I was still using the same recommenders like my professors. But then I had two limiting factors: money and recommendation letters. As much as I wanted to apply to more schools, there was a limit for recommendation letters. Like, it means I will have to disturb these people because I've left school for a long time. And that's one thing I want to advise. Please do not maintain relationship with your former professors. And one thing that helped me was that, yes, I was a good student, but I'd misplaced the number. I've changed phone. I've misplaced the number of many of my lecturers where I did my undergraduate. So I was only keeping in touch with about two of them. They could remember me very well. One was my HOD, is now a dean. Then the other one too is the HOD. So those two were my supervisor for my master's. Those were my three major recommenders. So I was always keeping in touch with them during their bed. During their bed, I'll make sure I call them. I make sure I send them airtime and all that. So just a way of me keeping in touch. I didn't even know that I was even going to end up needing them. But that's one thing I would like to encourage. Please maintain relationship with your former professors. These people are very busy. And a lot of people, I remember this, my former professor, who is a dean, is very busy. He said, no, Debbie, if it's you, that I cannot reject your request for a recommendation letter. Because a lot of people are on his head for all of that. But just maintain good relationship with them. So in 2022, I tried to pay for 2 schools. I applied to few waiver schools. I've not learned my lessons now. So we got the love letter as usual.
We got it.
But the turning point for me, I'll say yes, I cannot
Yeah.
overemphasize the place of grace and God in this journey because
Yeah.
it's been God. Even these the fact that I applied for the third time, there was no guarantee that I was going to get it. I cannot say I did it with my own strength. Like the people Victor mentioned at the beginning of this workshop, I know those people personally. See, there are people with very good profile that are applying with you. It's very competitive. And what makes it even more competitive is that not only Nigerians are applying for this same position, Europeans, Indians. I see these Indian guys and they are really very good. Like you will write GRE with them. These people will have 300 and something. They'll be having perfect score. Their publications, I don't know how they do it, but they have multiple publications. You are just there struggling with 2 or 3. So just hold on to your God. Just hold on to your God and then do your own part. So one thing I did differently, apart from the fact that I had to write GRE again. And then I had to write Duolingo exam again last year because my Duolingo exam was valid for only 2 years. In fact, this is June, right? By this time last year, I think I was on the verge of giving up. Victor, Victor can remember.
Yeah,
I'll be like, I'm tired. But deep down in my heart, I knew that I would still have to apply. But sometimes you just, and one thing I like this community that Victor is building. Please check up on each other, help each other, encourage each other because see, this journey is not for the faint-hearted. There are many times you just tell yourself. Last year, when I got rejected early last year, I was like, the money I spent on application fee, I just told myself, Debbie, if you had used this money to invest in a business or do something with your life, you will know what you would have gotten. But it's part of the journey.
Yeah.
There are some people in this journey that they apply once and they just get it. See, embrace your journey. God's plan for our life is different. Yeah. There are a lot of lessons God may want to teach you. Just know that He has your best interest at heart. So one thing I did differently, apart from the fact that I wrote GRE, I had extra publication, then I communicated with my recommenders early too. Another thing I did was this. Please be flexible with your research interest.
Yeah.
I'm doing cancer research. And one mistake, I don't know if it's a mistake, but one thing I've been doing in the time past, when I check for schools, I check for professors that are doing cancer research. I studied biochemistry. I check for biochemistry department under School of Medicine. Biochemistry department is under School of Life Sciences, School of Medicine. School of Medicine is very competitive. You need to have a very compelling application package to get it. I'm not trying to discourage you. I'm just telling you what worked for me. So one thing I did differently was that this time around, I was particular about applying to only Department of Chemistry because there's something about Department of Chemistry. They have more funding than other departments. So you have better chances. School of Medicine, they value research, your research interest, and most of these things we don't even have access to learning them here in Nigeria. So other people from other countries will just take the few slots that are available. So that was one thing I did differently. I checked for professors with my research interest in Department of Chemistry. So all the schools I applied to this time around were in school Department of Chemistry. And
okay, I think a network. I think we lost Well, can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me? Okay, yeah, thank you.
Yes, we can.
Okay, yeah, thank you. So I hope you've learned a lot sincerely from Deborah's story. Yeah, it's not for the faint-hearted, like I might say. Yeah, we are having the boot camp and it's an advantage for us. Let's not give up. Yeah, In fact, it may be that the last school, for me personally too, the last school I submitted was the first response I got positive. So for me, anytime I want to share my story, 2024 started very good. I mean, 2nd of January was just very good. See offer, 2nd of January, I got a good response from a school. 4th of January, I got another good response. After, several rejections and all of that. So it's very important that we do not give up on this journey. Let me give Deborah some time to join back to wrap up the session. So I wanted to say something as regards recommendation letter. I'm also going to say that don't stress your recommenders, in the sense that if a recommender agrees to recommend you for about 3 schools, please do everything at once. Now, another smart way of applying to school is that you necessarily do not need to wait until when you get to the recommendation part of the application before you include it. So what I did was that I was writing my exam. I was writing my exam around October. That was the GRE, and I wanted to meet up with the December 1st deadline for application. So what I did was that I started my application 1st of November. Imagine, 1st of November. Okay, Deborah is back. Okay, Deborah, sorry, can you just, yeah, welcome back. You can just wrap up. Thank you so much. I'm not sure we can hear you. Okay.
Yeah, so I was talking about getting professors with your research interest in other similar departments. Then another thing I would say is don't just apply to Ivy League schools. Have save schools in your list. I remember then last year I asked Victor to send me some list of schools, because you may be applying to 8 schools and you will not even know. Check the ranking of the school. You will not know that all those 8 schools they are applying to, they are all Ivy League schools. I would say cut across, share your application. If you want Ivy League school, apply to Ivy League school, but please still apply to safe schools. Then to improve in case you've applied before and you got rejected, one thing you can do is to repackage your application materials. If you have the means, please write standardized tests. It will stand you out, like GRE, TOEFL. Those exams although they are waived by some schools and some departments, but still, if you have the means, prepare for these exams and write them. It would help you. And when also let other people review your SOP. Don't just write something that looks good to you. Show people that have gone ahead of, like mentors. You can give Victor, you can give your colleague, let them read it, because there may be some things that that were like an oversight to you when you were writing them, and they will point your attention to that. Yes, so I want to say, please, in this journey, do not give up. 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 I cannot overemphasize that. As long as you've made up your mind to apply to grad schools, as long as you are passionate about it, this is your dream, you believe this is what God wants for you, please do not give up. And I pray that God will bless all our efforts, and soon going to hear your testimony of admission.
Wow. Yes. Thank you so much, Deborah. I mean, thank you for your time. Thank you for the wonderful session you've taken us. And I know that somebody's encouraged here, because our people on this call, that this is like maybe the second or the third time they're applying as well. Yeah, so everybody on the group is not just like JJC. And I'm very sure for someone that is about to give up, you don't hear, now give up. Please do not give up. So lastly, I want us to end quickly now. We take some questions, maybe just 1 or 2 questions. But then I remember something. I was going to say that anytime you're applying to school, ensure that you submit your recommendations as once. For instance, if a professor is applying, if submitting letters for you for like 5 schools, don't submit one letter in January and submit another one in February and submit another one in March. It's stressing him, because he's just like, have I not submitted one for you? So what you do is that if you are telling him, sir, can you recommend me for 4 schools? Say, oh, go ahead, please. Now, know the 4 schools. Yale University, Harvard. These are examples. Please don't go and apply to Ivy Leagues alone. So Yale University, Harvard University, MIT, and Stanford. You open the application for the four schools. You just go there. You don't need to start the application. Just go to the recommendation section. Just click on recommendation, include his email address, close the application. Immediately you do that, the email has been sent to the professor, even though you have not submitted your application. Go to the second school, MIT, go to the recommendation section, include his email address, close the application. Immediately you do that, the email has been sent to him, this third school and the fourth school. So when you do that, the professor receives the 4 emails at once. So for instance, maybe there's a day it's just less busy and just like, let me look at this lady's application. Say, what is he saying? And he sees all your 4 letters. He submits everything at a go. But imagine you submitted one today, and maybe it was free. You submitted it. Then you submitted another one later. You now saw email again. You submitted it. By the time you submit the third one, you just go, oh boy, please don't send me anything again. Do you understand? So another smart way of ensuring you meet deadlines that just know the schools you want to apply to, open them, go to the recommendation section, input the email of the professor, and submit everything at once. Yeah, I think it's been a wonderful time today. And the things I wanted to say about applying in a smart way, as been said by my friend Deborah, applying to many schools is very important. I mean, you cannot overemphasize the importance of applying to as many schools as possible. The application is very competitive. So no matter, I have a friend that had a very good profile, like I told you guys, but he's applying to just 4, 3, 4, 5 schools. And another mistake he's making, just like Deborah said, is that he's also applying to schools that are giving a general fee waiver. Imagine you're applying to 3 or 4 schools, and most of all the schools they're applying to, they're just giving, this is the waiver code, though, just put for 2025. I beg you. If you do that, you see, the thing is that most Nigerians, of course, you don't have money, right? So everybody's looking for free stuff. But imagine doing the free stuff and they receive like 20,000 applications. And now they want to pick just 20 people. How do they do it? So they have to go for the best of the best. One smart way of doing application is that apply to schools that you have to pay and be sure that they are not giving waiver to anybody. Another thing you could do is that if you have a GRE score and your score is very high, I will encourage you to apply to schools that say GRE is compulsory. You see, if you apply to school that say GRE is compulsory and you apply, not many people will apply to that school because most people don't have GRE score. So your chances of being admitted to that school is very high. One third thing is that there are some schools that will say VES evaluation is compulsory. I don't know if you know about VES evaluation. VES evaluation is just a way of evaluating your transcript. It's quite expensive. It's about, I think, maybe $300 or $350. It's very expensive. But do you not have a friend that she didn't really have a very good profile? Nothing much, but she was just very smart. She just applied to a school that required VES. Most people run away from those schools because they feel like, am I going to waste $237? Thank you, Emmanuel. So people feel like, am I going to waste this $237 on doing VES evaluation? So they run away. So eventually, those kind of schools receive like just 7 applications or 6 applications or 10. In fact, they will admit all of you and they'll be looking for more students. Yeah, so apply for schools that say, okay, VES evaluation. If you can do, that's the clause. If you can afford VES evaluation, do the VES evaluation, apply to the school. Another smart way is that if you have a school that requires an official transcript, now all these things does not mean that you're getting automatic admission, but you're just increasing your chances of being admitted. If you have a school that requires you to submit an official transcript before they review your application, for most schools in the US, what they do is that you submit an unofficial transcript in your application, and after your admission, they request you to send an official transcript. But look at the situation whereby a school is telling you that you have to submit an official transcript from your school before we review your application. Most people will run away. Personally, I ran away. I think the brothers will run away. But then, imagine if people are running away from those schools and you had to go the long way of submitting an official transcript, even though you spent a lot, maybe like 80,000 naira to submit it. Do you know that your chances in those schools are very high as well? So, smart scholar, actually, what brought about the name today is because I want people to be smart about the application. It's not just about having a very good profile. It's good, right? but you know you are competing with many people. So having good profile is not sufficient enough, but adding smartness to the profile. Just like I said, that my friend, it still baffles me today because this person has a very good profile. I mean, if you should show me his CV now, I have to go and add my own CV because, man, this is 15 publications or 17 publications. This is MSc results with 4.92 or 4.95 over 5. This is first degree. These are conferences he has attended. Very good profile. But the mistake he was making is just applying to free overs. I know the money is the challenge, but please give it all the best. Thank you for listening to us. Deborah, thank you so much for coming for this session. And I think we should take like 1 or 2 questions because of our time. By 6:30, I want us to get out of here. So if you have a question, you can use the Q&A session. Or, oh, I can see hands. Okay, so please just go straight to the question. No story, please. What the Lord has done for you, straight to the point.
All right, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Deborah. It was very insightful. So please, Victor, you sent a draft of your recommendation letter that you drafted to your professor on the group chat, and we discussed about something. So how did you maneuver, or how did you get to, send a different and distinct recommendation letter to the different recommenders? Because the one you shared to us, you most likely highlighted everything that has gone that you've gone through, and the things you've done, the experiences you've gone through, and all of that in the recommendation letter. So how can we distinctly produce a very good
Yeah, thank you so much. Yes,
so everything does not
yeah.
Thank
yeah.
you.
Thank you so much for your question. Sorry, my camera may have to be off at this time. Yeah, I get your question perfectly, and this is it. Now, for each school in the US, for most of the schools, they require like 3 recommenders to recommend it for for just one school. So that means if I'm submitting like 10 applications, I need about 30 letters. Of course, 3 people can submit the 10 letters, and of course, it's not advisable. You can also split them into people that you submit. Now, imagine if I'm applying, let me use an example. I'm applying to, let me use my friend's school, Deborah's school, Miami University. So I'm applying to Miami University now. And for Miami University, I need 3 people to recommend me. And 3 of them are asking me for a draft before they can send. You have to be very careful at this time because the other side of having a draft, sending a draft to them is if you are not careful and by mistake, you have the same template that you wrote for them, your application is gone. Because the meaning of that is that they are reading the 3 letters from your professors and the letters are looking alike. This one says, I've known Victor for 2 years. He did this research in my lab. He did this. The other recommender is saying, I've known Victor for 2 years. He did this. The third recommender is saying, I've known Victor for 2 years. It looks shady, like something is wrong with this because they will see that you have written these letters yourself. So what you do is that you have to you assume the position of a professor. Okay, my professor is asking me for a draft. How far? I mean, how well does this man know me? What have I done with him? So you tailor it according to that professor, the first professor. The second professor is asking you. You are going to write an entirely different story and drafts in accordance with the relationship you have with that professor. The same thing with the third professor. And after writing those letters, be very sure that you read the 3 letters, the drafts yourself before sending to them. Because if by mistake you are starting the 3 letters the same way, it's not possible for 3 people to recommend you and they are starting recommendation the same way. So that's fishy already. The school knows that this guy is dubious. Something is wrong here. Imagine 3 people are submitting letter for you and they are all starting with, I've known Victor for 2 years. The second person, I've known Victor for 2 years. The third person, I've known Victor for 2 years. Do you understand? So that means before you even send the letters to them, you have to check the 3 letters you have written as a draft. Read them, ensure that there is no traces of maybe a communication or something that looks similar in the 3 recommendation letter. Then I think you can submit it to them. Yeah, thank you. I don't know if I answered the question. So let me allow Ike Memusa. I think Memusa has been very active on the chat. You're welcome. You can ask your question now. We are closing soon. Yeah, you can't hear you. Your mic is still muted.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now.
Okay, sorry. Thank you, everybody. My question is directed particularly to Deborah. Actually, she talked about flexibility in applying to schools. Actually,
Yes.
this flexibility was actually what cost me one of my schools I applied to. The admission chair said that my interest is actually so tailored, so narrow, that I can't actually find 3 faculty members in the department that I could rotate, do my rotation in their laboratory. So how do I make my application flexible to that, to be able to meet this? So this is actually my challenge. How do I make it flexible? Thank you.
Okay, Deborah, I think the question is for you.
All right. I don't know what department you have. What department are you in? Life sciences? Hello, are you there? Are you in life? What department are you?
Are you still on the call? Memusa, Mesuma, sorry. Yeah, your mic is muted. Can you tell us the department you are in?
Actually, I wanted chemistry and I'm in cancer research, so I'm interested in that session was actually more intriguing to me. Yes, you can help me out.
I didn't hear that.
Okay, I said I'm in biochemistry, interest.
Oh, you are in biochemistry. What research are you talking? Are you interested in?
In cancer research.
Cancer research. Okay. Okay, so I don't know exactly what you are talking about, what you applied for in cancer research. But cancer research is actually broad. There's biomarker discovery, there's the molecular aspect, there's therapeutics. On that therapeutics, immunotherapy, immunotherapy discovery, and all of that. So cancer research is actually broad. You can even see, that's like I said in my discussion that because of the research I did for my master's degree, somehow had been streamlined, because even my publication, the conferences I've attended, and my research interest has been streamlined. But even though it's been streamlined master's research was on biomarker for cancer diagnosis. But what the professors I found on while searching for schools, I found professors that some were doing the same biomarkers, but it may not enzymology related. We're doing the real molecular aspects of it. Then some were doing cancer therapy, some were doing immunotherapy, some were doing pharmacology. So I would say don't. And one good thing about the US is that, unlike other countries, they'll tell you to submit proposals. US so just do your research, check what professors are doing, check what is trending in cancer research. You surely see one or two, in fact more than one, more than two, more than three that interest you, so that when you're writing your SOP, I would advise, do not just streamline it. I was going through one of my SOP for the school I applied to last year, and then I realized that for one of the schools that I applied to, it was too streamlined to cancer research. And I think I mentioned my research question or something. There was something in my SOP that was like too specific. And then when I checked the university website, it was just one or two faculty members that were doing research in that area. The downside is this: those two faculty members that you think are doing research in that, they may not be taking PhD students for that year. They may not have space in their lab. They may not even have money. They may not have grants. But because you've checked the website of the school and say, oh, this faculty member is doing this, maybe you saw 2 or 3. In fact, 2, and you just apply. Send your application in such a way that even if the professors you mentioned in your SOP do not have space to take in PhD students for that year, when the graduate school admission committee review your application and they find you worthy of admission, they should be able to still accept you because there are other faculty members that doing that research, because that's one of the reasons why people get rejected. The school has to be a good fit for you. Your research, apart from the fact that you are brilliant, your recommendation letter is very strong and all of that, the which that you want to do they have faculty members with that have been able to help you?
Wow, thank you so much, Deborah, for that wonderful answer. Thank you. So I think some people want to connect to Deborah. I think I will just send your contact to my most after. Mesoma, I'm sorry, your name, I'm not doing your name, I'm sorry. I will send your contact to him after the session. So if you need our contact, just reach out to me, my DM. I'm sure she'll be very happy to help you guys. Yeah. So I don't want to waste much time. So let me see a question in the chat. Someone says, if the recommender is not in your department, but in your faculty, yeah, as long as is doing something very related, like for instance, someone in biochemistry now can recommend someone in chemistry, something very similar, someone that know you very well. But it's not like the professor is in Yoruba or linguistics and you are a science major. I mean, are you asking for recommendation now? In fact, people that are not in your school, that are not your direct professors, can also recommend you, as long as you have a relationship with them. So you have worked with them. I have a sister of mine, a big sister. At that time, she was doing a postdoc in Turkey. She has never taught me. She's just like a sister to me, like a family friend. But she was doing a postdoc in Turkey. We've written a publication together, like a review, and we had a very good relationship. In fact, she got my IT placement for me when I wanted to do my IT then. I told her, and she recommended me. One of the schools that accepted me, she actually wrote a letter of recommendation for me. So if you have people you have a relationship with and you have a similar field, doesn't have to be the same field, but something similar, of course they can recommend you. Okay, let me allow Taiwo. Today's the last day. I guess people are trying to wait on the call because it's the last day. So let me allow Taiwo to ask this question. Taiwo or Laide, you can ask your question now.
Good evening, Mr. Victor, and well done.
Thank
Can you
you.
hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Thank you, Taiwo.
Yes. Okay, so my question is, how, for me now that I'm coming from chemistry, how do I align my interest with maybe computer-aided drug, they are kind of different, going from chemistry to chemoinformatics or medicinal chemistry, drug design and drug discovery. Because I've been trying to write my SOP, I don't know how to even start, and with the fact that my major research interest did not really align, like the one I've been doing in my school, not really align with computer-aided drug design.
Wow. Taiwo, thank you for the question. I think one thing you can do is to try to get research in that line. Really, there's nothing as good as your research aligned with the professor's research. Nothing as good as that, because it means that you are ready for him. Now, there are some schools that you could just submit your application and they don't really care. They just take you in, and once you resume to the school, that's when you have to select a PI. That's a principal investigator, right? But if you want to work entirely with a particular professor, it's very important that your research aligns with his. That comes to the place of sending a code email. So if you, for instance, you're in chemistry now, you want to go to maybe pharmacy or something, let me first shock you that pharmacy funding is very difficult to get. To get a funding in any professional course. That's why you see courses like medicine. You can't get scholarship. You can't, if you're a medical doctor in Nigeria, you can't go to US and practice. You have to go through maybe like PhD in online, maybe my microbiology stuff. Then when you get to the US, you have to write like 2 or 3 exams before they can allow you to practice. Courses like nursing, physiotherapy, they're like professional courses, very difficult. So, but what I can say is that if you can get enough research For instance, you are doing computer-aided drug design, that's CAD, and you have publications in this line. You have research experience. I'm telling you, if you apply to a faculty of pharmacy with your experience, they are going to leave pharmacists alone and get you in. Do you understand? So the only thing I can advise is that once you can have a very good profile in that line, you're applying, even if it's not your first degree course or your research, and you want to switch, once you have enough research in that line, they are going to take you in. So just work on the profile. All right. So thank you for that. Okay, I think Tosin wants to ask a question, but I guess our question has been answered, right?
No, so I still have one more question.
Okay. All right.
Can I go ahead?
Yes, please.
Okay, so my question is about a recommender. The other one I wanted to ask, I think that was what Taiwo asked, and it has been answered. So for the recommender, do my supervisor, like, is it necessary that my supervisor have to like recommend you for all the schools that I'm applying for? Because it's like my supervisor for my undergrad research. Is it necessary? And also, if a school is requiring 3 recommenders,
Yeah.
like all the 3 recommenders, do they all have to come from my alma mater, like where I did my undergraduate?
Okay, amazing. Yeah, thank you for the question, Tosin. Yeah, it's not compulsory that your supervisor recommend you. Personally, for me, I did not use my supervisor for any of my application. Now, let me tell you this. It's actually good if your supervisor can recommend you. Let me not dispute that, because it's I don't know, there's some schools that they will tell you that at least for the 3 recommenders that are sending recommendation for you, one of them must be your supervisor for your undergraduate studies, because they believe that you are coming for a research work, and this is the person that supervised you during your research in the school. So for some schools, I have a particular school that said one of your letters must be from your supervisor. Even at that, I didn't use my supervisor, and this is the reason. My supervisor, then was someone that was very, very busy, and I was very sure that if I use this person, it's either she was not going to submit the letter at all, or she was going to submit the letter late, or she was going to maybe not write something very interesting because of time constraints. So I personally selected my recommenders, people that I knew that if I call them today, they are going to write something good. So it's not compulsory that one of the letters come from a supervisor, except otherwise stated by the school. Secondly, you don't have to get all your letters from your alma mater. Yeah. In fact, there are certain schools that I did that 3 letters were not even from any of my professors in school. In fact, let me not even say certain schools. Most of my applications, the 3 letters were not even from any of my professors in school. And that was actually because I had another experience somewhere else. So if you do not really have any other experience in the university setting, it may be difficult for you to get other recommenders. You just have to fall back to your alma mater, right? But if you have other experience, maybe in another university, and you met great and awesome people that you feel should be able to submit letters for you, I mean, great letters. So it's not compulsory you use those from your school. Additionally, if you have a very good relationship with your alma mater professors, I think it's also very good if they can submit. Some schools, in a way, when they see a letter from those that have taught you, they kind of weight it carries more weight than people that did not teach you. So if you have the opportunity to reach out to those that have taught you, it's all fine. But if you do not have the opportunity to reach out to those that have taught you in school, then go ahead with people that you know personally that can write great letters for you. And I know they do justice to that. Okay, Victoria. I think Deborah is going to answer this question from Victoria. Victoria, please ask the question.
Okay, thank you very much, Mr. Victor. My own is not really like a question like that, but I just want to tell you that GRE is too hard. Like, I don't, it's giving me tears. Like, I'm so emotional. It's too much. It's a lot. It's a lot of things.
Okay.
I don't know how to help me. Like, that GRE especially, I don't know. So if there's
Okay.
anything that you can help, yes, thank you, sir.
All right, Deborah, I don't talk. Now you go answer this question.
Oh my God. Okay. Yes, I can relate though. I feel your pain. I've been there several times.
I feel her pain too.
nothing in this journey that, see, even when you get admission, you see visa application, you will do prayer and fasting. Let's get there. Yeah, so for GRE, one thing that helped, have you guys heard of Greg Math?
I've
Greg
told
Math.
them about it. Greg Math,
Good.
yeah.
I know it's like $5. As I last year, was it $5 or $7?
It's $5. But there's another package for $7 now.
Yes, the premium one. So you can
Yeah.
do it. But it's not compulsory you pay for it alone. 2 or 3 persons
Exactly.
can just come together, pay this monthly subscription, and then you would have access. You use somebody's email now. You guys will have the passwords.
Yeah.
You can Greg Math, Magoosh.
Yeah.
Then test tutor on is it tested tutor? This guy on YouTube. It's tested tutor now, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there's this guy. It was very close to my GRE when I found him. He's on YouTube. He has lots of, and I met people that said they watched a lot of tested tutors video and it's improved their scores. Then there's no magic. I've written GRE, I've written long version, I've written short version.
Hey, God, I beg you.
There's no magic. I understand the fact that I don't know if you are working. If you are not working and you have time to yourself, I'll say congratulations, because see, it's not easy working, trying to make money, and when you come back, you still create time to write, to read for exams. Our mentor used to advise, is it 3 or 4 months for GRE? True. No matter how intelligent you think you are, see, GRE is one exam that humbles first class students.
Yes, I agree with you.
That money is much. Please just get all the extra motivation you can get. Then you can have study partner. You can be in groups, WhatsApp groups. I was in WhatsApp groups where they post when you're studying, if you encounter any challenge, you can post it, solution. Then another thing that you can do for the words, I know you can use flashcards. The one thing I did too, I tried to because I didn't have the luxury of time. So for those words, I read them out, read the meaning. Sometimes I can talk about the origin. I recorded myself, so I can be somewhere. I just put earpiece in my ear. I'm not listening to music. I'm listening to the words I'm trying to get used to. I don't know if you are that kind of, if it's something that can work for you, good, but please practice. There's no shortcut to it. Even if you are a genius, you have to get used to the trick, because it's a trickish exam. You have to get used to it, and when you get used to it, it will help you. I wish you success in your
Man, thank you. I think we should end it here, really, because this meeting can go on for 3 hours if you're not careful. Thank you so much, Deborah. I really appreciate you for showing up for my guys, my friends. They're my friends, and my guys. Thank you so much for coming to cheer them up, to encourage them. And thank you, everyone that's been a part of this. Yeah, it is success.
The opportunity.
I believe our Saturdays have been very productive in the month of June. Yeah. So let's do it to go back to the recordings. I've sent all the recordings for the 4 sessions you've had. At the same time, I'm going to upload this on YouTube. I'm going to send to us as well. So at any time, let's come, go back to the recordings, listen to it again before you write your CV. Listen to the CV again before you write your CV. Make sure you follow the normal procedure. Make sure you do things right. I really believe that everything will go well for us at this time. If you have other questions, I think you can continue the chat on our platform. Yeah, if you want to join Smart Scholars Forum, you just have to send an email to smartscholar@gmail.com. Yeah, so the last R is double. So Smart Scholar, the last R is a double R. So smartscholar@gmail.com. You can also invite your friends, recommend your friends, let them come. Yeah, it's free. I mean, it's free. So invite someone. Thank you, everyone, for joining. Thank you, Deborah. So I think we're ending this session. See you in the next meeting. I don't know when the next online meeting will be actually, because we are done with the bootcamp. But then let's see what happens. All right, everyone. Have a wonderful evening.